All right, guys, welcome back to another podcast. Today we got a special guest. Just kidding, we don't have a special guest, but we do have a different sign for today. Someone forgot it at home while they're in the rush to the podcast area. So, all right, it's good. Today we're gonna be on a relatable concept about love, just all across the board. Love across all across the board. You know, family, relationships with a significant other, friends. So, how long have you and your girl been together for?
She's gonna get mad. Fuck. Exactly. It's been over 10 years now.
Holy
I think it's gonna. Dude, what the hell? I think it's gonna be like 11 years.
No, congrats, bro. I'm actually happy for you, bro.
In like March. Yeah, it's good to have a good, steady relationship in your life. I mean, even if it's like we have a good relationship, good relationship with some of our family members. With your doggos, your pets.
Oh yeah, for real, bro.
Yeah, love is important.
This is my godson, for real. But I have a question. Outside of relationships with a significant other, with like friends or close friends that you see as brothers or maybe as a sister, do you think they could hurt you emotionally or make you feel better emotionally, like on the same level as a significant other? Not like the physical wise, not like intimacy, but on the same concept of love.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I think from both sides, being hurt and like from the positive side.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes when I argue with my girl, I can just go to my friend, FaceTime real quick, be like, "Hey, dude, let's hop on COD or let's hop on some video game."
But you don't hit me up, bro.
You never try to play with me.
I'm just kidding, bro.
And then they always say too, betrayal doesn't come from your enemies. It usually comes from your loved ones or people that are close to you. So that can also be something that can mess up the relationship too.
But I mean, for me, I relate to the phrase friends could break your heart too. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, hell yeah. I've fallen out with friends before. Well, I mean it's I've known friends where maybe they're kicking it with someone that you don't like anymore, or kicking it with an ex-person or something.
Yeah.
Or there's like a bro code sometimes too. You're not supposed to talk to
the no-no list.
Yeah, you're not supposed to talk to someone.
Which I know about the no-no list.
You're not supposed to talk to someone that that one of your friends have dated or something, right? It's a bro code.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because for me, for the both of us, we came from high school. We went through a lot of friendships. Like for me, I went through like a whole bunch. But the reason why I was asking you is because you live with your girl now. Like how does it feel to just like not really be, you're still connected with your homies, but you're with your girl like most of the time and stuff like that. So how does that life like kind of like?
No, I don't talk to nobody.
For real? Like, nobody, bro?
No, I mean that. Like when I go back home, shout out to Scott, our neighbor. Known him since we were hella young. I talk to Scott sometimes. A lot of my homies that I really talk to nowadays are people that not necessarily from high school, or people that I grew up with, really, just because everyone kind of went their own separate ways. But some of the people that I've met, in LA that I've worked with before at a restaurant.
People in LA are many, bro.
Yeah, I know people in LA are pretty crazy.
Shout out to LA.
People that I've worked with professionally in my career now. Those are pretty much a lot of my homies because, when you're in a career and you work, a lot of those people are going to end up being people that you see sometimes more than your family, or sometimes more than you see your family on a daily basis. Because you're going to see those coworkers every single day, damn near, right?
Right. I mean, that kind of sucks, though, at the same time, because, when I was working during COVID, I would see my coworkers and customers more than my actual family. That sucked there, yeah, but, you grow a relationship with your coworkers, which is cool.
But sometimes you get tired of seeing your family members every single day, right? So it's cool to see that old lady that walks into the store every day, maybe makes your day or something, right?
They're like, "Hey, what's up, mama?"
Yeah,
that
exactly.
No, I get that because you see your family for like years and years,
and obviously you love your family, but it's cool to kind of, it almost feels like another family, right? At work,
right,
that type of love is
like a work family.
Yeah, it uplifts you.
Yeah, so on that note, how is it, being away from, friends like that you were once close with?
You get used to it, to be honest
with
you. Yeah, you get used to it. I mean, if it's someone like for you, like Jerry, like you known him since you were super young, and then you guys don't talk anymore, and you known him for hella years up until now. You guys don't talk anymore. I'm sure that you guys will still be cool when you guys see each other every here and then.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
if you kind of lose that relationship, then it's I don't know, that's pretty hurtful too, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's also those relationships that that you love with, I mean, maybe a significant other or, long distance. Also, yeah, but like with a relationship with another person, or that friend that no matter how long it's been, no matter how far they've been, and you guys finally see each other.
Yeah.
Like for the first time, it's like nothing happened.
That's me and Scott. Yeah, every time we come back,
right?
And each other,
Yeah. That's good. That's me and Jalen, bro. That's me and my boy Jalen.
Yeah.
Because I never see him, but yeah, no. On that concept, it's just like you could feel that like that same. I'm not trying to sound weird, but like that same connection of like love for for your homies, for your relationship. Because I mean, me personally, I've never been into in a long distance relationship. I don't know how people could do that.
I don't think I have either,
dude. Because I mean, for me,
like
I feel like
hours.
the people in long distance relationships, they got to be like tougher, stronger emotionally and mentally.
Well, you gotta really trust each other.
But
you
also
can do whatever you want when that person's not there,
right? And it's hard to just not see them because you can only text, you can only call for so long. But that's where you put your love for that person into play, right? You're patient with them until maybe the next time you see them, or
exactly. You gotta withhold your urges,
Dude, I know. And there's also some relationships where for example, with my last relationship, there was a time where it was COVID and I was in a relationship at that time. And it felt like it was long distance because it was a time where we all had to quarantine. See each other, yeah. That really sucked, but I mean, you get used to it over time, and then once you finally get to see each other, it's like, I mean, I go off, I guess, but you know what I'm saying? No, but there are some relationships that are damn near long distance.
Yeah. Sometimes that makes
people just like to text.
Yeah, sometimes people like that where you don't see each other for a long time, you get a little break or whatever, and you come back and it's it's kind of like you've been deprived of that person. So when you guys see each other, it's just super lovey-dovey.
I mean, there are times where it sucks. Like it's the hardest thing to be away from that one person that you want to see like all the time, or that you've been talking to. Yeah. And that goes for friends too. You haven't seen your friend in a long time, or online friends, people who have online friends. Like for me personally, like I want to see my friends who I met online. Yeah. And sometimes that's how it goes for my real life friends too. I talk to them, I text them, and I see them like what they're doing on social media, or maybe I don't, but I still in the back of my mind, I'm just like, dude, I just miss these people because of just the connections I have. Yeah. Like love could go like a long way with friends. Like I feel
like love for your friends, love for your homies, and those people that are close to you. It's more of like a family love. Obviously, like a significant other love is also like a family love too, but it's a little bit different because that's your significant other usually with that one person. Right. But if you have close homies, like I miss my homies too in LA. They're some of the chillest people I've ever met, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. And going on to the next concept of love, which is with a significant other. What a lot of people really like in a relationship is probably the beginning, right? When you guys are first starting to get to know each other, like most of the time, right? I'm not saying past 4 or 5 years, but I'm saying
well, I would say that's the easiest part, right? Is when you guys both make that connection, you guys both like each other.
I know, and there's like
and then the honeymoon phase,
that beginning spark, that really
when you're really trying
lightens up the mood,
when you're trying to win that person over, damn near.
Yes, it's like you're still competing for that person. I'm not competing, but like you're still trying to win them.
You're still trying to court them, yeah.
You're still trying to win them over. So, how long do you think it would take to just get out that cupcake phase until you? Because
I'm still in it. I don't know.
But for me personally, right? Like I've seen my two closest friends, shout out to Elijah and Kenny, love you to death, but it was funny seeing them in the cupcake phase for a long time, like where they don't ever want to be apart from each other. And it's like so far I think they've almost been together for 2 years. If not, they have been together for 2 years. It's funny seeing them like now. Like of course they still love each other, but it's funny seeing them now like, oh yeah, Kenny's my bitch, like type stuff. That's like, I mean, I'm not
No,
trying to
but
expose Elijah.
that's I feel like that's good. Like that's like another level of like relationships where like
that's like,
yeah, you start talking shit
that's,
about.
yeah,
It's almost
that's
like
next level.
like not like a sibling type relationship, but
Mhm.
it's funnier. You know, you can make fun of each other in that stage.
Exactly.
And those are some of my favorite relationships. Like
yeah.
not just with your girl or your significant other, but with like friends.
Yeah.
Where you could just where you see your fucking friend and you just say like, "Yo, what's up, bitch?" And you guys
Right.
say it back
No,
to each
no,
other,
for
just
real.
talk shit to each other.
There's
like,
there's
funny.
a certain level though when it
'Cause you guys
comes to
are comfortable.
friendships. Yeah. When it comes to friendships, there's a certain level of like being comfortable with them to the point where you could actually, talk to them in a joking manner.
and sometimes you could just have it's not even awkward silence. It's just silences. With
Right,
them.
right.
It's not awkward, right?
And I believe, in my opinion, that there should be, those friendships that you could have like a serious side to them. I talked about this in the last podcast or in the first podcast, but you gotta have that friend where, yeah, it's all hella like fun and goofy, but then sometimes you gotta connect to them type stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it's gonna be in the beginning. Usually, when you first meet someone, you get to all joking and stuff like that, but then you get to know each other. Like, yeah, bro, I was hella, happy and stuff when we met each other, but life's not perfect, and I'm going through this one thing, and then you finally talk with like for example, your coworker, and like you develop that relationship. Like I feel like that's how a friendship is supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to connect with your friends.
I'm gonna keep saying this, bro, but we gotta normalize guys like reaching out.
For real,
For real.
yeah.
Like, yeah, for homies, it's always funny in the beginning because you guys are you're not trying to really get into a friendship to talk about something serious all the time. Usually, at least for me, it's always just, I want to get into a friendship because I think this person's cool. We have the same humor. We always just laugh at some stuff, and it's nothing's ever super serious. But of course, if you know a person for long enough or you know a person well enough, eventually there's gonna be a time where not everyone's gonna have a good day every single day.
Right, right.
Sometimes you're gonna have a bad day or something bad happens to you, and you need to vent to someone. So I just think that we should normalize one, reaching out, and normalize two, being there for someone that a homie that is not always super serious. If they need to talk, be there for them.
Then again, sometimes, when you need to vent to someone, you need to find like the right time. Like I get it. Sometimes you're going through it throughout that like entire day.
Yeah.
But maybe find that time where they're actually available, and sometimes usually it's at night because that's when people are usually available. Excuse me. And you don't want to, like, for me personally, when I need to talk to like my friends or whatever, they're mainly available at night, which is, I mean, it's cool because that's like when you can't sleep. So I would talk to my friends at night instead of like day, because I know damn well, they're hella busy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to vent to
Work,
them
school,
while I don't want to vent to them while, they're out and shit like that. And, it just all comes down to timing too, when you're trying to vent to someone, to be fair, to be fair for both sides, because the person that, is listening to you, you got to be considerate of like, where they're at too, because,
well, I'd probably
be going, both ways.
I would probably say maybe shoot them a text and just be like, yo, like, if you have time, like, I just need a vent, bro. I'm having a bad day or something just happened to me,
I mean, me personally, I'm not trying to say like I pick and choose who like I talk to. I go to the same people, like including you, when I need to talk. So it just goes where I need to talk to someone who is available at that moment where I'm feeling like hella, emotional and stuff like that, or happy about something, or even sad about something. I need to talk to them in that moment because they could hear hella, my emotions being expressed, and stuff like that. And so that's why I like to talk in the moment, me personally, because I can't really set a time.
You mean
to
on the
talk.
spot?
Yeah. A reference to our fucking name, but no, I'm just saying.
I feel that. I feel like as long as you don't make decisions like while you're super emotional about something, right?
Yeah, that's when you need to actually talk to
because
someone.
I made that mistake.
Get their opinion.
I've for sure made that mistake, like making a decision like hella irrationally when I'm super mad or I'm super sad.
Yeah, me too.
Or even when you're super happy.
Yeah.
Like
fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna buy another car. Fuck it.
Like, hey, bro, like I'm having a good day. Like, let's kick it. Let's kick it on Monday.
It's like,
and Monday comes, I'm like, damn,
dude,
I kind of don't want
bro,
to.
for
like,
real.
my fault. Like you're my homie, but I don't know, I'm just
right.
not feeling
I mean,
today.
and we talked about that. Just saying like, oh, why mention an idea when later on you're not gonna be available?
Yeah.
I mean, those times, like, I get it, like, you're feeling like hella
Yeah.
sporadic, but that's why I try not to do that too much.
I try not to do it
I'm
too
not gonna lie, I
unless
can't say
I know.
I can't say that I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but I'm saying, like,
Mhm.
unless you know 100% that you're, like, gonna go through with it, then I try, like, I refrain to not say that.
Right? No,
Not say
yeah,
to
for
make
real.
plans, right?
Yeah, and so I'm just like, you know, let's fucking buy this shit. Like, I'm hella excited. Let's do it. I'm about to spend hella money. And then when that time comes, I'm like, damn, that's expensive, bro. Like, I need to pay for some bills and stuff like that. Car.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
fact.
Nah, but yeah, no, for friends, like, you could, when you're able to connect with them, after a certain, a given time, after, joking around, that's really good, because I feel like
Yeah.
the people that could handle also, like, your serious life,
Yeah.
those ones are the ones to keep. It's all fun and games, when you first meet them, or even when you continue just to be friends just for the positivity. But sometimes you still gotta reach out, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're saying, you still gotta reach that serious side, and the mentality
sure.
in a relationship is hella important.
I think that's what's also good about having friends, like, over just having, like, family in your life,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times in your family life, you're gonna feel a lot of pressure from your family to do this, do that, get a career in this, or do something specific.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right, but then
Mhm.
friends, depending on where you meet them, or how you know them, a lot of times they're not gonna be the ones to judge you the way family will.
Mhm.
So it's good to also have friends, because you can have that family love from an outside perspective of.
And you guys could relate.
Yeah, exactly. You can
because
relate.
You guys are usually either, they've been through the same thing because they're older, or maybe
Mhm.
you guys are going through the same thing because you guys are the same age.
Yeah.
Or you're older, you're just trying to guide someone. No,
Well,
yeah,
usually
no, I
you and
get
your
that.
friends are usually around the same age anyways, because that's how you relate to somebody,
Mhm.
right? Is the stuff that you guys like is usually within that same age group. But
Right. Or I mean, there's people like Jaden Smith type stuff who wants to hang out with older people than him because of his his mindset. He has I guess a more mature
like,
mindset.
honestly, like, why are we talking about this? Can we talk about the economic and political state of the
Dude,
world
oh
right
my
now?
God, see that exactly, bro. Like, if I were to hang out with
No,
someone
but
like
that's
that,
trying hard though.
isn't he like the same age as me though?
I don't
Or a
know.
little bit older. He's a little bit older, or maybe your age.
He might be my age, but I don't
But
know.
I mean, like I said, if I was around someone like that, and don't get me wrong, I like to be mature because I could be hella immature sometimes. But I
that's
like
annoying the way he is though.
No, for sure. Like
That's hella.
I feel like he's
I
trying to
don't
get
like-
attention, bro.
Just be yourself, dude. Like,
Yeah, for real.
like, you don't have to try so hard to make yourself sound smart.
Or just to stick out.
I was watching this. I don't know if it was a podcast or an interview, but Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
He was talking about some guy that was wearing a Harvard tie, right? And I think Neil deGrasse Tyson went to Harvard, but anyways, he was asking the guy like, "Oh, why are you wearing that tie?" And then the guy's like, "Oh, because I like it, because I'm gonna be going to Harvard soon." And then Neil deGrasse Tyson is like, "No, you mean you like it? You want to wear it so that everyone can see you and put you in the same bracket as the other scholars and geniuses or whoever graduated
because
from
Harvard is known for
exactly.
being like
So he
really
took the
smart
tie from
school.
him, and he said, you can get this back once you actually prove yourself and done something at Harvard. Because he said that once you actually do that and you actually become a scholar and you actually solve a problem or do something with your education from Harvard, you're not gonna need this tie. People will already know that you did something great,
Damn. Yeah.
right?
No, yeah,
So
no,
don't
for sure.
pretend
Like
to be something that you're not.
that goes to show, like, even when you're working, you always run into those people who say like, "Oh yeah, I do all this work and stuff like that," and I'm the only one doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, which is true, right? Don't get me wrong. I feel like I could relate to that too.
Yeah.
But when they go on and on about it and like they bitch about it to the point where it's like that's all they say, you gotta you think like, man, just have your work speak for itself. Like
I agree.
have your personality,
No, I
your
agree,
vibe
yeah.
speak for itself. Don't just say like, oh yeah, no, I'm always happy. Then just show you're just happy,
Or
know?
but I get what you're saying. Like in work, like when I was
Mhm.
working in a restaurant, there's times where people are gonna be like, "Oh, I'm doing all this, I'm doing all these tables, whatever." It's like, dude, you don't have to say it. Like,
Right.
if you're doing your work well, if you're working really hard, then just let your work shine for you. You're good, bro.
Right. No, for sure. Oh, I also have a good topic. On that concept of relationships, it could be with friends, but this is mainly on the
With your significant
significant other. Yeah. So I was thinking, how can you really tell if someone's happy in a relationship when they always keep posting about like how they say, oh yeah, I'm super happy in my relationship, like on social media. There's a lot of people that post their relationships on social media, and don't get me wrong, like, you know, that's respect to you. I'm not trying to bash on anyone who does that constantly.
Yeah.
And even
Of course.
relationships that have been going on forever, I see people post about it almost like all the time, right? But I'm saying even when I know things aren't going well between them, they still post about, oh, like I love this person so much, or, you know, this is my for life. When you know that person either personally, or you know how they could be in a relationship where you know damn well they're not that happy, and you know, because that's where it goes. You know, have your work show, like, speak for itself, right?
Well, that's the thing about, you know, social media, especially when it comes to that kind of stuff, is people will only post and show you what they want to show you. So they're not gonna post about, oh, me and my significant other are fighting, or, you know, we're going through this argument or whatever. They're only gonna post like, oh, look at my relationship, it looks so good.
No, yeah, no, for sure.
You know, But sometimes people also just want to capture memories on there, I guess. You know, that's what I would want to do if I'm gonna post anything
like
about,
highlights, right? Like highlights of your relationship type stuff.
But it's like, I mean, I've seen some of those posts too where people are like, look at my relationship, like I'm doing so good with this, blah blah blah. When, I mean, you don't obviously know the reality of it unless you're in that person's shoes. But yeah, you know, like I said, for social media, a lot of people only post what they want you to see, only the positive stuff, right? So you never know.
I mean, in my personal opinion, like, this goes for me. I've known many people who've done this multiple times on social media, where they say, oh man, I'm the happiest I could ever be in my life. You know, I'm just so happy. You know, they either tweet it out, they put it on their story. But, you know, why would you say, in my opinion, why would you say that you're happy if you're actually happy? You know what I'm saying? Or if you're not actually happy.
Yeah.
You know, that's where it kind of, like, why put it out there if you're actually happy? You would actually just be, like, in my opinion, I would say you would just show that you're happy. You don't have to caption anything. You don't have to make something so specific. It's kind of like why state the obvious, or why ask a rhetorical question?
It's like also saying like why, like, like they say that a real man doesn't have to say that he's a man. It's kind of like that, you know. Like you said, just kind of prove what you, or you, like, just, it's gonna be in your work, or it's gonna be how you present yourself. You don't have to always say it. Yeah, I mean, they always say that talk is cheap, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And to the people that, I'm not trying to, like, it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to, like I said, bash on anyone who does that. But that's where I'm trying to just put my foot down and say, why would you go out there and try to say you're happy? You would just be happy. Like, you don't have to show that. I feel like true happiness just comes within your actions.
Dude, because social media it's a platform for people to show their rank.
People just want to show off their feelings.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe they want to show, like, oh, maybe it's some kind of thing where they want to show, like, oh, I'm happy. I don't know about y'all, but I'm doing, like, my life is good or something.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, for me, even with Twitter, like, you know, that's kind of like one of the main things, you know, Twitter's used for, just to tweet out random stuff, or, like, you know, random feelings that you're feeling. Like, I do that too, but I'm not gonna say I don't do that. I'm just saying it's coming also from personal experience. Like, I would catch myself, like, saying, oh man, I'm so happy, like, I want to do this. But in reality, sometimes I just try to not really get attention, but get more.
That might be a big reason why,
like, awareness.
Too. Some people want to get that attention, right?
Like, I like to, like, show off, you know, sometimes, you know, just be like, oh, like, I wonder if people would care about it. Me personally, though, I just tweet it out and I don't really care. Yeah. But I do tweet it out to show people, like, you know, my emotions. You know, I'm not saying, like, oh, I care about how they feel about my emotions. I'm just showing, you know, like I said, I'm just showing my emotions type stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I always feel like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, it's difficult in today's age, but for me personally, that's why I don't have a Twitter, or I don't use it. And I don't really post about my feelings, you know, on social media, because I like having the human interaction of expressing my feelings to you, or expressing it to, you know, my girl or friends or family, whatever, because I just feel like it's more natural. Because when you post for something, what are you looking for, right? You're looking for a reaction. You're looking for a like or a comment or something, right? And sometimes in some situations that can be helpful, But I just feel like the love that you feel naturally from someone face to face, even if it's on the phone or you're actually talking to that person, you hear their voice. It's for me, like I said, I like the natural connection. Makes me feel better when I talk about that stuff.
No, I definitely get that. That's where I'm saying, I've seen you. I mean, then again, you're not the type of to always, post on social media about everything like you said. But I see you've been with your girl for damn near over 10 years. And, that's a good thing because you also don't really post on social media to get, verification from anyone saying like, oh yeah, like, my relationship is good. You already know your relationship is good.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need to put it on
right.
social media.
And it's okay to show off. Like I said, it's okay to show off, but
sometimes I'll post a picture here and there of us too, just because I think, I look good.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. Yeah, she'll be like, how come you didn't like tell me I look like this and my hair's like this? I'm like, my bad. I was only focusing on on the way that I look right there.
I mean, shit, you gotta.
But I still want to post it because it's us too,
Right, exactly. Like you could like when you're in a relationship, you gotta show yourself off, but at the same time, you gotta show who you're with.
Yeah.
Because you gotta rep. You could rep your relationship because you could see or you could tell people, this is my person. This is my significant other. I'm just saying for me, when people post like, oh, I'm so happy. Why post if you're actually happy? Just show that you're happy. Show the energy in how much you post or the vibe that you give off, like I said, I'm not trying to hate on anyone for that, but
no, of course not.
It's just my opinion,
Well, I got a question for you. Like growing up, since we're on the topic of like relationships, I mean, what we've been through when we were kids, how did those relationships and how did those affections of love like between our parents or whoever that we've seen growing up, compared to mom and papa, compared to our mom and dad, how did that like affect you? How did that change your outlook on love and how you like kind of, if you choose to love someone, how do you do it? In what way?
That's a good ass question. I like that. So first and foremost, what I thought of first when you asked that is I would see how you and Nicole, you and your girl would be in your relationship. So I always looked up to that for sure. And I'm like, dang, like, they've been together for so long. I'm trying to keep someone close to me, as not just to experience, but just to, actually not marry. I don't want to go that far, but I would say just to live my life with them, because I feel like starting over with the relationships back and forth, that's just not the thing. Like for me, I would just personally, I mean, I'm not in a relationship right now, but I'm just saying, I would always look up to how long your relationship would be and, how were you able to keep that relationship? Because, hey, being in a relationship, it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
it's hard work.
I would always look up to that in ways of like, dang, I'm trying to look for the person that I could really deal with, that could deal with me for like hella long type stuff.
Yeah.
And as for, seeing like, same thing with our grandparents, mama and papa.
Oh man,
like I would like their love is like
that's a crazy type one. Stuff. Yeah, so 70 plus years.
Right, and people go off and on with other people. With back and forth.
It's life.
Or but for me, I'm just trying to look for that one person that I'm trying to experience quality, not quantity.
Yeah, I like that.
Like I don't want to. I'd rather just not take the experience and just go with one person that I could just go on and like get old with. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's hard to just keep developing that. It sucks because you're gonna be reminded of one other person that you were with before.
There's always gonna be comparisons.
Well,
I think there's always gonna be comparisons to if you have like another person that you're talking to, comparing them to the last person, comparing that person to the other person, whatever.
I see.
But I feel like the best thing to do really. I mean,
that's inevitable.
Yeah, I'm not a love guru or nothing like that, but I always
10 years.
Anything I do in life, I like to just go with the flow. That's why I don't always like to take pictures of my food or take pictures of where I'm at. Unless
you want to live in the moment.
Yeah, I want to live in the moment. I want to live on the spot.
No, I feel that. And that's where, hey, man.
So I feel like if you're really looking for a girl or you're really looking for a relationship, it's going to be kind of hard. But if you keep your eyes open, but you just go with the flow and live your life, it's just going to happen.
It's just, I mean, nowadays, bro, I just feel like it's hard to find that. Because I feel like in high school is when you're kind of supposed to find that person, for you. Because you guys grow up together. Then you guys develop basically into each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how you
yeah.
and Nicole were high school sweethearts, right? That's crazy.
Dude, there's plenty of fish in the sea. How do you know that your person is not gonna be in Africa or in Europe or something? You never know,
Yeah,
right?
That's crazy. Like, who knows? Like, my soulmate's probably just, you know, exploring the world somewhere. Like,
she's probably in Switzerland right now.
Oh shit! But no, like, that's how, you know, I was able to. I wanted to relate to you on that. You know, take notes. They've been in a relationship for this long, and I mean, I don't see the ups and downs, you know, all the time between you two. But the fact that you guys are still together and you guys look happy right now. I know not to judge a book by its cover, but I'm always here for the podcast, and I always see her, and you guys look happy. So I took notes on that.
Well, that's one of the things too, is that, you know, if you find someone like, you know, like Nicole, like my girl, like, she understands what's important to me, and I try to understand what's important to her, right? So she knows that my relationship with you was, you know, one of the most important things in my life. So as long as she understands stuff like that, you know, then there's no problem with us getting along, or
right, because you would understand if, you know, with her sister.
Exactly, yeah.
And like for me,
shout out to Penny. I love Penny too.
Yeah, shout out to Penny. But yeah, I would just try to, you know, take note of, you know, how a relationship is supposed to go. That's what I always thought. Like, I looked at you and I looked at mom and papa, like, damn, like, that's how a relationship is supposed to go.
Supposed to be, right?
Now on the other side, you know, of how it's not really supposed to be, bro, and, you know, the negative side, yeah, mom and dad have been divorced for like how long?
I think a decade, over a decade now, maybe 12 years or something like that.
And, you know, a lot of people could relate. You know, your parents are separated.
You
learn a lot.
Marriages end in divorce, so
you learn a lot from you know, your parents, especially, even if they don't really, you know, teach you per se. I would say, like, just observing, I'm like, okay, well, I saw the realistic side.
Of
not
course.
all relationships are just sunshines and, you know, rainbows and everything like that. So that's where I took note of it. I'm like, okay, I just gotta know that I gotta find a person that I could deal with, a person that could deal with me. That, you know, that could go on like forever.
The most important thing is that you learn from those mistakes.
Right.
Whatever you see from, you know, for our example, for our parents, when it didn't work out, you kind of want to learn from what they went through, you know, how they were with each other, and what you want to avoid for yourself in a relationship, right?
No, of course. And so even with my last relationship, it really just taught me, you know, find someone that not only that you want, but you need. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to just rely on them for your happiness, or just to to be heavily dependable on them. I'm saying they would know, like you said, like Nicole knows what is good for you, what, you know, what you need. Sometimes they know a lot more stuff about you than you know about yourself.
That's true.
Because you don't look at yourself externally.
Exactly.
You're always, you know, thinking about yourself, you know, in the inside.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, from what I've learned in my past relationships, is just to find someone who you really need, you know, not that you just want. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to go back to what you said about, you know, you can't depend your love or your happiness on another person, because it's never going to work out for you. Right. You have to accept who you are for yourself, and accept whatever you have, what you bring to the table.
You have to love yourself.
Exactly. And if that other person can accept that and see that in yourself as well, and a lot of times see things that you don't even know about yourself that they love, you know, that's how I think that there's like a harmony in terms of the relationship, right?
Right, because it has to be, you know, two-sided. You can't just be, you know, unbalanced. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, I mean, no, I definitely get that. That's where I, you know.
But it's a push and pull, right? Your whole relationship, you're gonna be working on things. You know, you might annoy your significant other. There might be things that annoy you. So I think that, and I need to still work on it too. You know, I need to learn how to communicate. I need to learn on how to talk more about what bothers me, or what I can do better, you know, for myself to better the relationship, right? Because again, nothing ever is gonna be perfect,
right? And sometimes
except for this little guy, but
his life is perfect. Everything
his life is perfect. Everything about him is perfect.
But yeah, no, like we're not perfect, and you know, we're still maturing, we're still growing, because you're still hella young. And you got into a relationship like at a young ass age, so you're still, you know, obviously you're still learning and stuff like that.
I mean, I've had a few relationships in my life, none of them as serious or as long as this one that I'm in right now, but I mean, you learn things from every single relationship that you go through, right? So that's what I just try to take from it, even if it's friendships with other people, friendships with girls, guys, whatever, and then relationships with significant others. You just try to learn from that, and that's the biggest thing. I think you just need to take in those mistakes, take in what you've done, and kind of just reflect on it, right? And then kind of realize, what I could have done better, or why this was a mistake in the first place.
Right.
So.
And like, I mean, as of right now, but I never related to like such an Ariana Grande song so much, Thought I'd end up with Sean, but it wasn't a match. No, I'm just playing. No,
that's hard. That song is hard though.
No, it is hard, bro. Like I added that to my playlist recently. I'm not gonna lie. No, but I mean,
if you don't, then you're whack.
Exactly. Who doesn't have one Ariana Grande song, bro? All right.
Or Taylor Swift.
No, but on that concept of with a significant other, it's like for me, like I observed both good and the bad sides because obviously, once you get older, that not everything is gonna be sunshines and rainbows and everything's gonna be happy. So on that concept, I'm just saying, like from coming from me, I would say people should find another person who makes them feel like they need them. They need them more than they want them. And that goes both ways for each other, because you can't just have one person just needing needing the other person more than
more
than
like imbalanced, right?
When it's imbalanced, and it won't be long term after that.
Well, that's why
coming from experience.
Don't base it just off of the honeymoon phase, right? Because eventually you're gonna come out of that, and maybe one person might come out of that sooner than the other, and then there'll be that imbalance where someone is not as interested.
I've been through that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, but getting that other person to understand, the same pace. That's why it's good to have communication. But I feel
think
like
that's key.
I feel like sometimes coming out of the honeymoon phase, I feel like that's probably hard if you think about it. Like how can you get, because in the honeymoon phase, you get in that rhythm for like so long of just being like, oh, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, I mean,
I love you. I fly to the moon for you.
Man, it's like, I take a bullet for you type stuff. But, I feel like that point in time is one of the hardest phases to get through in a relationship. More like
gradually
it just
it'll
depends,
end.
depending on like your the strength that you guys have with each other. But don't get me wrong, for me personally, like when I would go through the honeymoon phase, it would be kind of different, like getting used to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I always thought that having a rhythm or having a routine was bad. Don't get me wrong.
Why?
Up to a certain extent, it would be, it's okay. But for me, like, I don't want them to get bored. I don't want myself to get bored.
Yeah.
That's where I'm saying.
You want to keep things spontaneous or different, right?
You want to keep
it's not
that
just the
spark.
Same. You don't get bored.
Yeah, you want to keep that spark. Fireworks in the room every time you guys kiss.
Yeah.
After a while, I mean, who knows?
But that's why you kind of find out what that person likes and what they're interested in. So that way you keep that relationship alive.
Right.
Because if you really care about that person, you love that person, right? Then you're gonna try to keep their interests in mind, right? Whatever they want to do, you kind of want to say, hey, let's watch what you want to watch, or let's do something you want to do, or this person likes to eat sushi, like I'm gonna take her to go eat sushi or something. And they're gonna appreciate stuff like that because you listen and you pay attention to what they like and what they're interested in.
Right. And I wanted to get your opinion on something. Would you like from someone who's asking you, right? Not for you to relate to, but if someone were to ask you like, hey, this girl like is exactly like me, like she's damn near like a replica of me, do you think that's a good thing all the time? Like for them to just be like they're like a mirror.
Now that I think about it, no, I don't think all the time it's not very good.
Like,
what if some people have like bad tendencies? Like some person can be like an addictive person, or they can be an aggressive person, and those two heads will butt and clash all the time, right? Because I like to think of Nicole as we like to think of each other as like different like I'm a guy version of her. She's a girl version of me. Type,
no,
right?
Of course. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying because
it depends on the situation too,
and how strong you guys are with each other. Because some people, when that happens, the reason why I'm asking is because for some people it's a bad thing only because they feel like things could get boring after a while. Because when you find someone who's almost not exactly the opposite of you, but more of someone who that doesn't have the same likes as you, you could see their perspectives and how they do it,
Oh,
and then they
yeah.
could see your
Oh, yeah,
perspectives and
yeah,
like
yeah,
go
yeah.
out to do things that
Dude.
you like to do.
Like me and you growing up, like what do we eat? You know, some Filipino food sometimes,
Yeah.
but then most of it is what, burgers, pizza, fried
Chicken.
chicken. So yeah. And then when I
Fuck,
met
man.
Nicole, you know, I'm open to a lot more different kind of foods.
Then I
different-
could tell, yeah. and
different cultures.
I feel like she's the one that upped your palate too. And
Yeah.
you keep telling me to fucking up my palate, motherfucker.
yeah, bro, you need to
Bro, cause I'm not
improve that, bro.
Where we're at, bro, like in Antioch, bro, there's like
That's
nothing,
why I always
bro.
try to put you on to different stuff whenever you're here.
Yeah, no, and now my standards are definitely fucking
I think it's good
higher.
to find someone that kind of, I feel like, I don't know what it was, like an awakening. Like my eyes were just open. Like, dude, if I
Shout out to Nicole, bro.
for it's like if you stay in one spot forever and you're comfortable there, dude, there's a huge world that you don't know what the hell is
And
out
that goes
there,
for
dude.
love, for everything,
For
dude.
everything, for food, for traveling, for
job.
love, for your career, for
Yeah.
things that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to just stay in one place, and that's what I really learned from her is that, you know, there's a whole world to explore, and if we can do it together, then shit, why not?
Damn, that's some fucking fairy tale type shit, bro. No, but I mean, you should everyone should find someone that really ups their standards.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good point.
In a
That's
good way,
point.
in a good way where
Well,
you
be
learn,
healthy about it, you know.
yeah, where you learn
You have
things.
to communicate with that person, right?
Mhm.
Tell them like, hey, like I what Nicole always tells me is something that hits home for me is when she's like, when she says, you know, I see your potential. Because sometimes I don't see that in myself. Sometimes I lack the confidence in myself too. But when you say things like, oh, I see your potential, I know that you can do better in this or whatever, you can do this, you know, that's something that hits home for me. You know, it helps a lot.
For sure.
When I'm feeling down, or, you know, if I'm feeling like I'm not good enough for something, right?
Mhm.
Which is, that's kind of like rare in my life where that's actually just starting to happen because I'm getting older. You know, I'm learning how it is to be in the real world. You know, things aren't just how we thought it wasn't when we were in school, like when we were younger.
I know, like
right?
your eyes gotta open.
Exactly.
realistically,
Yeah.
you know,
I was
at some
like
point.
awakened. Yeah.
But yeah, no, because I mean, I'm not saying to find someone who ups your standards like in a bad way where you used to like, or like for example, for like females, I would always see like, damn, like, why would you go with that guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do way better type stuff. But you know, sometimes they like their tendencies, like the toxicity. I'm like, bro, what the hell? And I'm like, you should find someone that doesn't teach you in a bad way. Like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna date someone like him. More like, dang, this is how love is really supposed to be because this guy treats me this way. That's how a girl and a guy too. That's how they should learn. You know what higher standards they should be at. Because I feel like everyone should have high standards. Not high standards, but you know, higher standards. And
Well, for yourself, yeah, you should
Yeah.
have higher standards because you should hold yourself to a certain standard where, you know, you're not thinking of yourself so down, or you deserve something more. Dude.
oh, I think he's scared. Okay, so I don't know if y'all could
I
hear
don't
it,
know
but
what's
there's
going on.
someone like pounding up on the fucking
On the floor
on
or
the
something.
floor, like on the upper
Stomping.
level.
Yeah, they're
Nah,
stomping.
but maybe they're having some fun, bro, because we're talking about love.
They're like, hey, stop talking about that.
Yeah, if we're like, stop, bro, it's making things better. Fuck. No, but that's probably we won't see him. We won't see baby for a while, unfortunately. But he likes to. But every time he's scared, he likes to go under the couch. But no, like for me, I would see, you know, my friends who they're really nice. I'm not trying to, you know, reference anyone, but I'm just saying, you know, I saw a couple friends just dealing with some stuff, like some bullshit in a relationship. Where like, dude, I see how much you could care for me as a friend. Like that kind of projects at how
You would be
good
in a
of a
relationship.
person. Well, no, how good of a person they are, you know, in general, to just be able to care
Yeah.
for someone, you know. And you know, I feel like just some people, they could do better. Definitely, they could do better. But I understand in this point of time right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like love is hard to find.
It's tough because, like I said, sometimes you get comfortable, right?
Mhm.
And it's hard to leave that comfortable feeling when sometimes it's maybe for the longest time it's all someone has known is just that relationship and it could unfortunately be like toxic, right? But they don't know that they deserve better. It's a mind thing too, you know. I wouldn't call it like grooming, but you know, that kind of falls in the same same category where they're thinking that, oh, I'm stuck in this, I have no other choice, when in reality you have all the choices in the world. honestly, none of this shit matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're
real.
all gonna end up 100% the same way.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die eventually, but it's really just who you choose to keep around you, how you choose to live your life with those people, and how you choose to present yourself to anyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if those relationships are if you feel one kind of doubt, communicate to that person. And if you really think and you have a feeling deep in your gut that it's not good for you, then do something else, right? Try to find something else, or talk to someone that makes your day better.
Right, because when you stick into the same lifestyle, how are you gonna find someone different in the same lifestyle?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying you won't find anyone different than what you
exactly
came
what you
across
already
before.
been used to. Yeah.
Right. And
so move away, dude. Like, go travel somewhere.
Go far.
Meet somebody.
Shit. Yeah. Are you telling me to go far? No, but I mean, like
I'm
I was saying,
we moving to Switzerland is what I'm saying.
Oh, hey, I'm down, bro. I'm down. Switzerland, shit.
Dreamscape type.
Probably the move, bro. No, but I mean, like I said, people should find someone with not the same standards, but with high standards as well. I'm not saying to go above and beyond with your standards.
No, I know what you're saying.
At some point you gotta stay in your league. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because there's some people that kind of have high standards.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I mean,
Jay-Z is way too good for Beyonce.
I wasn't fucking expecting that, bro. But I mean, hey, he has bigger lips than Beyonce, so you know what I'm saying. That's like a good plus. But like something that she doesn't have, he has type stuff. But no, on that concept, I'm just saying people should have those standards where they know their worth, but also, what is good for them in the long term.
Yeah.
Because
don't just search for looks. Don't just search for someone based off of one thing. Oh, I only want a girl that cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I only want a girl that lets me do what I want or something. Like,
no,
dude, we're all humans. You gotta treat someone like a person, right?
No, but I mean, in my opinion, like, what is the best feeling when you first meet that person? It's like, damn, bro, like, they open up a whole different world. I'm not talking about like just on the small things, but like different mindset type shit.
Yeah.
And like in my other past relationships, I was like, when I met my most recent relationship, I was just like, damn, so you're not always supposed to be crying every day, like, type shit. Like, it was getting like to the point where I didn't really know my standards at that time. And so, like I said, my last relationship, upped my standards type
Well, that's
stuff.
good, yeah, because like I said, you're going to learn from the last relationship. You're going to learn what you can do better for the next one, because the next one's going to be better.
Right, no, and I mean, it should be better. It should be better because you should have learned from, like, why didn't it work out, who was good for you at that point.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this goes for everyone. Everyone should find that one person who, makes them feel not just in the moment type stuff, but more like, damn, they're opening my eyes up to a whole different world.
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel like my mindset was definitely opened up more to what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not just saying, oh, this guy loves cars and stuff. He got me liking cars, or this girl likes all this like traveling to the.
I'm talking about like deep mind, the way you think.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Like I said, to the point where, you're not like, this isn't how relationships are supposed to go. Like, I like this way of how a relationship is supposed to work and how they work with it. And so maybe, since your last relationships didn't work, maybe that's like something that you could get along with. And that goes for both sides too. That goes for both sides. I'm not just saying to stick with someone else's perspective. Yeah. Because like I said in the last podcast, you should not stick to one perspective. You should, like, both work on a perspective together if you guys are going to be living your lives together.
Yeah, of course. You have to see it from both ends, right? It's a two-way street when it comes to relationships. You can't just be dependent on one person.
Right. And sometimes people have their own reasons to be with someone, but I think going down the road, people should find the same reasons why, or a couple should find the same reasons why they're together, not just because they make me happy, and then come to find out the dude's just with him because he's there for a doggo or something like that.
For the kids or something like that.
Yeah, for the kids. Yeah. And so, no, but what I'm trying to get at is just, it should be both sides. Like, it should always be both sides.
Yeah.
And, you can't, for me, like I said, in the last podcast, you can't just stick to just one perspective. You know, you both have to understand, and you have to find, like for me, in my next relationship, if I ever am in one, I'm just saying, you know, I'm gonna find that person who is on the same mindset as me. You know, a person who, I'm not saying supports me even through something that they disagree with, more like I want them to agree with me, you know, like I'm doing this for because I know it's good for me, like something like an activity or something like that. But
well, not for validation, right? You want to get someone that's actually going to give you their opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Someone that's actually going to give me an opinion.
And their opinion makes sense. It's backed up by facts as to why they feel this way.
Yeah, and like,
and it just so happens to line up with the way that you think and the way that you feel, right?
And they're not just tolerating you.
Fuck,
no, that is not good. Like, if they're just tolerating you, red flag. Hey, you gotta go. You gotta look. I mean, people gotta look for those signs that they're only just tolerating you type stuff. Not just because. I mean, yeah, you can make them happy, but if you're doing something that they don't like you doing, to the point where, you know, they not that they get used to it, but they start to kind of distance themselves.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
So, that's not gonna.
That can get bad.
Yeah, and that's not gonna like be long term for sure. That's gonna end the relationship between you guys and your connections. That's gonna fall off.
Well, if it really is like you know, like a good relationship or like true love or something, you know, you try to find, you know, like a balance for you to support each other in things that you like, because you can't just have a reason for, oh, I don't like you doing this because there's going to be a lot of females around you or something like that, when you know that person is not going to be doing anything shady behind your back. You know, if the person in your relationship wants to go, I don't know, go to the beach, or if they want to play video games on their downtime, or if they want to go play sports or something on their downtime, like if you can find a way to understand why they want to go do that and not just for some toxic reason, then I think that's a good way to be able to understand each other and be able to support each other.
Facts.
Right. Yeah. Where it's not just going to be a one-sided perspective. Like you said, you kind of step in that person's shoes and goes, okay, like, even if it's something where they want to step away from you and they want to go play sports or something, it's good to have alone time sometimes. Right. Yeah, and it's healthy for your mind. If you want to go out to go exercise by yourself or go play sports by yourself or something, like, you have to really take a step back and understand, like, oh, okay, you know, they need their space for a little bit, and that's good. That's okay. Not everything is black and white, where it's just like, oh, he wants to go to the gym or she wants to go to the beach or whatever, go hang out with some other friends because they want to be away from me. Right? You can't just think about it like that. You have to think about it as why you know, that's the person that I love. That's the person that I'm with. Give them the benefit of the doubt, because if you really are with that person, why are you doubting them like that?
Right, and just to step in their shoes to see how would you feel if they were doing that.
See the world from their eyes for a little bit and just kind of understand, you know, oh, okay, that's what she meant by when she said something like that, or that's what he meant when he was telling me this, right?
Or that's what they meant, like, when they like to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, there's just some people that, they super disagree with you and what you're doing, or maybe they just don't like what you're doing, but at least they show you like that they support you and stuff like that. Not like they tolerate you just to be like, okay, but then they mention some other things and don't take what you love to do seriously. Right? Or just like, or what you love to do, what you love to eat, or who you like to talk to. It's different when, you know, they understand you and they try to step in your shoes, like, okay, how would he feel? But
take what the other person likes into consideration. Like, don't just always want to go do whatever you want to do. Find out if that person even likes what they're doing, and or if they're just tolerating it because they care about you and they want you to do something. It goes both ways. Sometimes the girl can have their day if you want to go picnicking or something, and the guy doesn't usually like that, but he'll do it. And one day you want to go laser tagging with the girl, but the girl doesn't usually like that, and the guy likes to do it. Have a balance with each other and try to find a common ground where you guys like something together, and some days you guys want to do something that they want to do, something that they want to do, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I think it'd be cool to, you know, when you meet someone and you're like, I don't really like doing this thing, but they want to do it, right? But then over time, you're just like, hey, you want to do this? Because you get kind of accustomed to it because of that one person.
Exactly. Like we said recently, don't be afraid to try stuff. For real.
No, for real. Like, you just gotta.
You never know.
When you become accustomed to stuff, it's mainly because, I mean, you love that person and you develop that connection with them. It's like, oh, you know what? It's fun because I'm with you. Or I love you like so much, and like I connect with you so much. Like you even make me like stuff I don't even like to do.
That I didn't like
that
before.
I didn't like before, but now I like to do it. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the same if you were to do it by yourself.
But that's the thing, though. Exactly. Sometimes it makes it even better when you guys are doing that stuff together, right? Like I didn't like soupy stuff. Then Nicole put me on the hella soup and stuff, and now I do like it.
Like like with food and stuff like that.
Yeah, like with food and stuff. You know, I didn't try it before. I thought I would never try something like that in my life. But then when I do, you know, I like it. Or even like some TV shows that I kind of girly, like I would never ever watch no drama stuff like that. And when I watch it with her, I'm like I'm crying and she's over there like damn, you need a tissue, bro?
Yeah, for real. Or like you're laughing hella like at this one video, and then she's like, bro, you watched it so many times. How are you still laughing? But no, I mean. For people who are trying to, not really trying to find someone, but, you know, who is damn near, I would say, ready to find someone, I would just say, you know, you got to find, you know, that person that shares the same standards, that is good for you mentally and physically, you know, because they want you to go far in life. You know, not just people who are good, I mean, in the moment.
And honestly, what I struggle with, too, is, you know, I felt like for a moment in time where, actually, like you said, like it was like a routine, or I got used to something, or used to a way that I was living. Even with my girl, you know, I kind of felt like, damn, I don't know myself anymore. I kind of lost myself. Like I don't know what I want to do anymore, right?
But then I went through that.
Yeah, and it's good for you to kind of realize that maybe what I have going on right now is not the best, or you know what I'm doing right now in my life is not the best. And so Nicole kind of helped me with that, where she said, you know, why don't you try doing this? And see if you can even try to do something professionally, or try to go into a different route.
And I feel like, bro, that's like true love type shit. Shout out to Nicole for that shit, because I mean, and people who do that in general, you know, for people, that's like more than love. You know, that's like damn near, that's, you care about that person more than, you know, you just wanna be with them.
Yeah,
like they want you to go far. They care for you, but it does take a lot to understand, you know, where they're coming from, because sometimes they say stuff that you don't really agree with.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like face value, where I don't understand, like, why are you telling me this when I don't like that's like, are you trying to hurt me or something? When really in deep down, it's not for that.
Sometimes it's hard to know good intentions.
And sometimes it's hard to accept the truth when it really comes down to it.
Right. And I mean, there are some times where it has to go both ways, because you're trying to care for me, but are you, you know, I'm caring for you too. Are you trying to see that? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so it has to be both sides when it comes down to that, because like I said, that won't be long term once you have that relationship with someone and they're helping you so much to the point where, you know, they don't really feel like they're getting that in return. And that's where it comes down to, you have to obviously you have to love yourself before loving anyone else, because if you don't, then you're going to end up hurting someone.
But sometimes too, like I said, especially in my relationship, what I've learned is, you know, you're not always going to find the answers, and that's okay. But it also, you know, even if you don't know exactly who you are in that moment, it kind of helps that, you know, Nicole was able to push me and kind of help me find, you know, what I like to do, or, you know, who I am again. Because I kind of lost like a little bit of my confidence, right? You know, when I started getting anxiety, when I started getting stressed out, you know, it's good to have someone like her that stays close to me and kind of tells me like, hey, like, I know it sucks for now. I can't understand fully what you're going through, but it's going to get better. Like, this will pass. You're feeling super sad, like, it'll pass. You're feeling super happy, this also will pass.
Yeah, and I mean,
that's just how life is.
And when people go through that, it's like, damn, like, I'm really proud of you for getting that far, because, you know, people don't really make it that far, unfortunately, and, you know, they can't handle it. They can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And that, it really is unfortunate when people can't, you know, find that person, or, you know, that connection with anyone to help them go through that. So I feel like, yeah, that's a good part of. But
let me ask you this: do you think that in every single person's lifetime that there's a soulmate, where it's like a significant other, like, or do you think that people that grow up without kids or without having a relationship with their boyfriend or husband or wife, like, they don't have that? You think that their life is sad?
It really just depends. For me, I do have friends that kind of want to go with that. Like, you know, yeah, they want to be with someone, but they don't really want to have children, or they don't want, have a future like that. Or people just, there's people that just want to be by themselves because they don't really feel connections with anyone else. But in my opinion, right, coming from me, like, I love expressing my emotion with someone else, that's someone that I could live with, right? Because I just feel like I have so much
in terms of like a relationship, right?
Of a relationship. Like, I feel like I just have so much energy and stuff like that. I'm not trying to sound like, I'm looking for anyone, but I'm saying like for me,
you got so much love to give.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm just that type of person to just be like, yeah, I wanna experience things with someone else, not just for me, because I feel like I'd go crazy if I was by myself for like forever. Not like,
no, I feel like that.
I'm not saying by yourself in terms of like literally by myself, because I have friends and family, of course. But
Yeah.
In terms
of
like,
I know what
love.
you mean. Like sometimes you feel like you can feel alone, even if you're surrounded by a lot of people. You can still feel alone.
Oh yeah, no, hell yeah, because not everyone could feel exactly how you're feeling. That like feelings, I would say, are just generalized.
That's why I feel like
you can't understand.
Yeah, completely. I feel that you and me also really alike too, because for the longest time, even before I met Nicole, when I had other relationships, I always felt like, damn, like I hella want a girl or whatever. I hella want a relationship, and honestly, I didn't really know why up until I met Nicole, right? Because she kind of, like I said, opened my eyes and kind of helped me to realize things that I didn't realize before, or helped me to see things in a way that I didn't before. Right. So,
and I get this a lot from my friends, because how guys could be like, sometimes they'd be like, all right, in the friend group, who's the one to get more hoes and stuff like that, or more females and stuff, and it's just, or the one to just be the hoe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least for my friend group, bruh. But I mean, I see that in a lot of friend groups. But the people would just be like, in my friend group, they'd be like, yeah, I feel like it'd be like the best looking ones would be like this person, and then we agreed to you, and I'm like, what the fuck, like how? And then I was just saying, like, can you really see me doing all that, like being a hoe, or like getting like going around and stuff like that? And they're like, actually nah, because we feel like that you're always the type to be in a relationship. And I'm like, I completely understand where people are coming from, because I feel
you're
like
a simp for
not
sure.
not like simp, like over and over again, not go in back and forth in relationships. I'm saying they're destined to be in one eventually, and I'm like, they're like, it's kind of like part of their image, like they should be married. I'm not saying like you should rely on someone, or you have to. I'm just saying it looks like that lifestyle of just being around with other people is not for them. Because like people, even I say that about myself too. I don't find myself going around and doing that. I just see myself like sticking to that one person, and like I said, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So
100%.
And there's the topic where you were asking me, do I think people being alone when they're older, like, is sad? I'm thinking it's not sad. It's just unfortunate, because there's missed opportunities, I feel like, with other people, like, the one that got away. I feel like a lot of people could relate to that. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of people that I know that just don't, that just look like they don't really belong in a relationship, and I feel like they'd be perfectly fine.
That's a good way to put it.
Like, I'm not saying they can't get anyone.
I'm saying
no,
exactly.
They look like they'd be completely happy with their life, and if they were just by
which
themselves,
is something
single.
Also that I admire too. It's like you don't necessarily need someone to make yourself happy. You're, in fact, like I actually know a couple examples where people are just actually taking care of their family, taking care of their parents, because they're getting older now, and they're completely happy. They're perfectly fine with seeing their siblings, seeing that their nieces and nephews,
or just hanging out with friends,
or just hanging out with
or
friends,
working, like
or just working. And that's how a lot of people get successful. They don't even focus on their love life. They just focus on their career. So they just take it to the top because they're so career driven.
Hey, props to them. Like, I know like a good couple of like my close friends, and I'm not trying to like bash on them or anything, but no, like I'm really actually happy for them, because I feel like they really deserve to, I'm glad that they know what they want, because a lot of people don't really know what they want.
That's something that you could admire, because if someone can be just happy with just themselves by themselves, then like hell yeah.
And if
power to you for sure.
If you're confident enough to say like I don't need anyone, like and you could really see that they're not capping or they're not lying, You know,
and it's not like it's gonna be like that forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good for them because they understand what it's like to be alone. They don't need to depend on someone, and then maybe eventually they find someone just like that.
Yeah, and I feel like they have hella high standards because of that.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I mean, if you think about it, if you're sticking by yourself, you know, you gotta have self-love for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you don't. But what I'm saying is, you know your worth, and you know what you have, and so when they do, or if they find that person, they're gonna have high ass standards, and that's gonna be like, bro, like that's her fucking. I'm pretty sure that could be their soulmate.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's good for someone to really work on themselves if they're not in a relationship, you know, at the moment, and they want to be in one. Just work on yourself, and eventually that'll come to you, right? You'll meet someone at the gym. You'll meet someone if you're in Disneyland, or you're doing something somewhere else, you in a restaurant. You know, you'll meet someone,
right?
And a lot of times. I mean, I don't want to get into religion, but you know, higher power. I do believe in fate sometimes too, where you're gonna meet someone that you were destined or supposed to meet. As long as you like, the world or nature will put you in front of that person, but you just gotta take the leap to do something to reach out.
You gotta
take initiative. You gotta take that action.
Gotta act on it. You know, because I mean that's what I'm saying. Missed opportunities.
Exactly.
I've seen that happen before, where, you know, I see my friends. And, you know, they're talking to someone, or they know someone. They're like, yeah, I mean, they don't talk about them in a relationship way, but they're saying like, oh man, yeah, we do this and stuff like that, you know, and we're pretty happy. I'm actually excited to hang out with them in a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, there you go. That's your cue. Like, if you feel that way and you can talk about them in a nice, you know, maybe loving way, then hey, go for it. But I get it. You know, sometimes they're just like, I just don't really feel it. You know, and if that's a gut feeling to you, then hey, by all means, take your time, and you don't have to act on it. You know, you choose. I mean, I would say you could choose your own destiny after. You know,
no, I think so. I think it's like a mixture of free will, but a mixture of fate too. That things are supposed to happen the way that they are. Right. Because, I mean, again, I don't want to get into religion or any kind of spirituality stuff, but I do definitely think that there's such thing as fate, as destiny as well. But humans, as we have free will. So maybe nature will put you in front of that girl that you could have been with, you could have lived a life with. But if you don't want to take the initiative to go do that, you don't have to.
Or if you can't, and you think like, oh man, that's a one, you know. But if there's something that stops you, you know, sometimes I feel like, damn, either one, that's the one that got away, or two, it's not destined to happen. Because
exactly.
I mean, for me, going off topic, but I mean, what Dad taught me is like, when I'm driving hella fast and like, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, I'll get there fast, and all of a sudden like someone kind of like gently like cuts me off. I'm just like, what the fuck, you know. I get my road rage, and he's just like, that's God telling you, you know, to be careful. That's, you know, that's your angel right there to stop you from getting hurt or anything. So that stops me personally.
Interesting.
I don't get mad anymore when that happens to me. Sometimes maybe if I'm actually.
Well, you never told me that shit, bro. I road rage all the fucking time.
Well, you're always fucking driving slower now, like that. I mean, that's good.
I know. I try to drive safe now.
Yeah, like we encourage everyone to fucking drive safe. No, for real.
Yeah, for real.
No, like it's actually scary. Like going off topic again, but it's actually scary to see how many fucking car accidents is happening.
Dude, recently there's been a lot of car accidents.
Yeah, there's been hella, Brandon.
I mean, living out here, and in LA too. I mean, there are people that just, I don't know, drive like shit. Like,
I know. How
just relax. You don't have to drive so fast. Dude.
Exactly.
Like, I get it. Your car is, you know, I don't want to hate. Your car is pretty loud. Like, that's cool, but drive safe, dude. Think about not just for yourself, but for everyone else.
Like, what's the point of just like doing that in the moment? Shit? I mean, I get it. You know, you could have a little bit of fun, but when you're putting others at risk, that's when it's that's fucked up. You know, that's like, you got to be careful. But no, but I mean, back on the topic of, you know, love and relationships, I really feel like, you either have a destiny to be with someone, or it's really destined not to happen because of something that happens, you know, that determines, you know, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to be with that person, or oh shit, this is like God telling me, you know, something. I'm not saying like just to always base that off of everything, kind of like, you know, horoscopes and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. Hey, and don't get me wrong, like horoscopes, I mean, it's cool to read about them after you get to know them, right? And
horoscopes.
Yeah, like
sometimes
science and stuff.
I feel like a lot of them are cap, but
I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but for me, it's just like, I mean, it's cool just to be like, oh, but I do that shit sometimes. But I mean, who knows? It could be just coincidence.
Well, that's why they keep it so general, because they want you to, if it's something that's bad about you, you're gonna be like, that's not true. I'm not gonna go back to this. But if it's something that's positive and something that's good, then of course you're gonna want to go back to it and be like, oh yeah, like everyone wants to think that, oh, I'm hardworking, I'm destined, or I'm determined or something. Of course, everyone wants to think of you that way, but it's kind of ridiculous to think that every single person born in around the same time is gonna have the same attributes, the same.
No, of course not. And I mean, there are some times where like signs have you got
to think like top G sometimes,
oh
right?
Oh my god. No, but like there are times where signs have their negative parts to it, and that's where I'm just like, okay, I look at that part, I'm like, okay, like we have a tendency of not wanting to step out of our comfort zone, type stuff. Like for me, but that's where I relate to him. I'm just like, I feel like back then I didn't want to play basketball in a league, and I was like, I'm kind of scared to. I just had stage fright and lacked confidence.
Me too. Yeah.
And or for example, like I'm kind of scared to drive to a new place or live out somewhere else because I'm just scared of change. And then that's where I just read like something about my sign. I'm like, bro, Tauruses don't like changes, bro. And I'm like, fuck. Nah, but I don't base that around off my whole life.
Yeah, no, but that's, I like what you just said though. Like, if you might be scared to go move somewhere or live somewhere else because it might be different. To be honest, it's gonna be different, like culture wise, or sometimes if you go to the South or New York, they talk kind of different. But it's pretty similar in the way that we live our lives. Whether or not again, you have like you're gonna live in the East Coast, live in the West Coast, South, whatever. It's a lot of it's still pretty similar. So you're still gonna meet people that are pretty cool, people that are really nice and genuine, but you're also going to meet people that are assholes, and assholes are everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
No, for real. And I mean, the reason for me personally why change is hard is because, I mean, there's some things in your daily life that,
Yeah, no, I agree.
that either is evolved around another person or around
and you're
other
used
things.
to it, right?
You're
and
used to it, and you're just like, am I crazy for thinking this way? Because
that's actually a good point what you said about change too. Then I get what you're saying now, because something like that changes in your everyday life, then of course, right?
And like I'm not even just talking about like a place. I'm generalizing it to the point where
of course
it's about relationships with the person or your significant other. You would just be used to just doing one thing because it was all about your significant other. You would do this one thing every day because your significant other.
Yeah, that makes me think of mama. Yeah,
exactly. And it's hard to step out of that routine like out of nowhere. And especially when you weren't ready for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's
ready for loss.
But that's why I always say, whenever we're at mama's house, is that like just eat, right? Because like Papa would always just eat, right? And then every single morning, Mama always makes pandesal, like Filipino buns, right? Every single morning. So, and that's what Papa and her ate. So if she's gonna make it, then of course I'm gonna eat it. I try to tell her not to, but we still kind of, and even if he's not here physically, he's still here somehow, right? In us, right? That's sure, and that's why we try to do that for her, right? So, I get it, because especially seeing it firsthand, where something as deep as that kind of love and that connection, and it's changing. It's something that you went through every single day, and then out of nowhere, one day it changes your routine, right?
And I'm like talking about like, for those people that either got out of a relationship or lost a friend, like actually losing someone like to passing away, that's different. But for me right now, I'm talking about you lose connection with someone, and it's kind of hard because I mean, me personally, my worst nightmare, I don't know why. I mean I kind of do know why, but for some reason my biggest nightmare is losing memory of someone who I once knew, like a lot, especially a lot, like that I knew and I loved and cared about. And that could go that it traumatizes me to the point where even if I lose a friend or someone that's not even that close to me, I'm like, damn, like how am I just gonna forget about someone who like I was once cool about, or that was once in my life. So especially a fucking a relationship, like having to get over like an ex of mine, bro, that's tough. And that goes for a lot of other people who especially who are scarred from their last relationship. It's hard to move on from things that you would do in your daily life because of them, or things that you would do together type stuff. And especially with friends too, you know, what was really sad with my friend Jalen, like it's really specific because I mean he moved away. It's not like I mean
Jalen moved away.
He's in Sacramento. Shout out
When?
to Jalen. A while ago. He's going there for school.
Oh, that's not. His parents are still.
No, his parents live in Sacramento too.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so
no wonder I haven't seen him in a minute either since the last time we played
exactly.
basketball.
And
yeah.
hey, don't get me wrong, like that's a drive, bro. That's a drive.
That's
I drove
far,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not fun. But yeah, no, like I'm saying, like one thing that was really hard for me to really handle was when he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm gonna be moving over to Sac. Like I won't be down the street from you no more." Like for some reason, like that hit me hard because I'm like, damn, I really wish we hung out more. Like my bad. Like there's always some stuff you're always really busy with in life, and there's things that you can't really control.
Yeah.
You can't really,
Of course.
you can't always be in full 100% control of your life. But
But
you know,
that's
some
just what
things
it is.
yeah,
It's
some
life,
things come up.
right?
And then so, like yeah, that just hit. I was like, damn man, like I'm sorry, bro, and you know, but the times we had together, it was hella fun, bro.
That's
like,
why you try to keep in
shout out
touch.
to all my friends who are like that.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like,
That's why you try to keep in touch, so that way when you guys get back together again, it's just like
it's like nothing
damn,
happened.
Yeah, it's like nothing ever changed.
yeah,
Like,
and it's like
just the boys back together again for another day to kick it.
yeah, and it's just to be appreciative of your friends and your family being around because they're not always gonna be around.
Exactly.
Both in this world or just in your neighborhood or a couple like 10-20 minutes away. They're not always gonna be there. So and they could even go further. And that's where I'm saying with love you could feel that way with like relationships.
Yep.
And like with your homies for sure.
Yeah, what I've learned is that nothing is constant or nothing is consistent but change. Things are always gonna be changing.
And I mean, sometimes you got to deal with it, even if you don't really want to deal with change. There's ways to get over it, but I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. It is gonna take some time, and that's like what a lot of people need.
And also might make you stronger.
Yeah,
right?
It might make you stronger, and also like it might show you what you need in your life, because in ways where like, oh man, in order for me to get past this, like maybe I should start to work out, and then it makes you realize makes you realize, damn, like I should get stronger, I should get better, or I should eat better, and just having better habits in your life too to get past negativity, because that's what perseverance is all about. It's just trying to get back up even when you're fucking like hella down. You gotta find some way to to get.
I like to think of it as like, unless it's like a super like a down bad, like you were like a racist L or something, you can't. It's hard to come back from that. But
yeah,
I think that every L really is like or every mistake, every L is really a dub in disguise, right? Because you're gonna learn from that, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be on some corny shit, but I mean, an L is not always just a loss; it's a lesson. Like
that's corny.
You like
no, that's true.
Bro.
That's true. That's exactly what I'm saying, right?
An
L it's a dub in disguise, because you're gonna learn from that. That's the best teacher, is when you make a mistake, you're like, damn, you remember that feeling of, damn, I made this mistake. I had this L, something like that was really ass that happened. I don't want to feel like that again. So you learn from that, and you think, how do I avoid that? Oh, okay, I do this, and I can better myself in this way.
Yeah, and sometimes, hey, you gotta take an L in order to continue going forward.
Exactly.
Sometimes taking an L, it's not always a bad thing. It's like, yeah, you lost something, or you lost something, and you go on with your life, and you find out how to be better. You find out like what to do better. Sometimes, if you're out of a relationship, yeah, it's really fucking sad. But now you have more freedom to do, what you love to do.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you might realize that was holding you back this whole time from wanting to express your passion to something.
Right.
And now you have the time to really do whatever you want to do, again, to make you happy, and that's gonna make you successful in some part of your life, in some degree, right?
And on that concept of love and being single, it's not always a bad thing at all. Sometimes you just need to take that time to think, to really better yourself before you try to be with another person. You could have time to do what you love to do, and because sometimes a relationship. Yeah, I'm not saying you're spending like 100% of your time with them, but of course you're sharing your time, right? But in the time that you're single, you could spend time with your friends, your family, and not really give a fuck about anyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
Or
sometimes you have to be like that. Sometimes when you pour yourself all into like a relationship, and the whole time it was kind of toxic, you kind of lose sight of damn, what makes me happy, or what I need to do to better myself. And then once you're out of that, then you get a little bit of time to think to yourself, be alone with yourself, to realize, hey, you know, I need to do this. I want to go work out. I want to spend some more time with my friends, right? And it's, you know, that's important to learn that. You know, it's like I said, like you said, every L can not just be a loss, but it's also a lesson. So you really got to learn from that.
Yeah, that's corny. No, but you know, on some real shit, failure is not always a bad thing. And I'm not saying just because you lost a relationship, you're not a failure. You could always it's just you know, a lesson to be learned.
Sometimes it just didn't work out. Yeah. Sometimes it just wasn't meant to be.
And sometimes that's where destiny comes into place.
Yeah.
Even when you're already in a relationship and you're happy, or you think you're happy, then you know something happens and you guys aren't, you know, together. Maybe that's just destiny telling you, or you know, a higher being telling you, you know, showing you that, you know, it's not meant for you. Maybe
it wasn't meant to be.
And there had to be a time where you have to realize that eventually, so then you could, you know, accomplish whatever you wanted to do, or you know, whoever you want to be with, or just the struggles that you were going through. Maybe it was time to call it quits, and that was a way, you know, unexpectedly, or maybe, you know, in a mutual you know, breakup, then it's like, you know, oh, then that's the time to call it quits.
Sometimes you gotta lose something to really gain something that's gonna benefit you more.
Ooh, bro, that's facts, bro. That's fucking
get that
facts.
Yeti type.
Yep. Oh shit. No, but I mean, you know, a lot of people could relate, and shout out to all, you know, everyone in a relationship, but also, you know, big shout out to those who are single type shit. Like, you know, fucking proud of you going through all that shit. You know, I mean, and being single, it's not always a bad thing. And for those who are, you know,
don't be afraid to be alone sometimes, because being alone it'll benefit you.
Right.
You'll find out things about yourself that maybe you didn't know about, that you need to better yourself on, or something that you're already good at. You know, so being alone is not a bad thing, right? Being in a relationship is not a bad thing. It's just on how that relationship is, right? But I think it's also healthy to, again, keep in touch with those that you love already. Keep in touch with your friends, and then speak out when you have problems. Speak out when you know, when you need a vent sometimes, and then just be there for the people that you care about. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all going to end up the same. Right. Whether or not someone goes first, if you go first, if I go first, whatever, we're still going to end up in the same place. So,
yeah. And to those who are single, you know, ready to mingle type shit, and if you're ready to be in a relationship, and you can't really find one, I mean, that's completely fine. You know, don't downgrade yourself. Don't, you know, think down on yourself.
Don't settle.
Well, I'm not saying like don't just settle, but don't be, you know, sad that you can't find someone. It's more just like, bro,
just let it happen.
Like for me, yeah, like let it come to you type shit. Like, yeah, I mean, that could go a long way to say, but I'm just saying, I feel like that's where, if you be real patient enough, yeah, life is short, but once you find that person, the you know, it's worth the wait. We're definitely worth the wait.
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, you know, for those who, you know, you can't find a relationship, you just gotta just keep your head up type stuff, you know. I'm not trying to be fucked up, but you know, I see like these other people that, you know, that aren't really, you could take for example, like, I don't know, like on some hillbilly type shit. Hey, if they could find love, shit, you can too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like people. You can find
you go to San Francisco, you be seeing bums that are in love. So
right,
if those people can find love and they don't shower like that, man, y'all can find love too, man.
Or just in like crackheads type shit.
Yeah, crackheads.
They shooting up together type shit, bro.
We don't condone.
Yeah, we don't. Hell no, fuck that. No, but I mean, no, but yeah, it's just, you know, you always find someone.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes, you know, love isn't meant for everyone else, you know, not for everyone.
Sometimes it's just not the right time.
Yeah, maybe it's not just the right time, or there's just, you know, it's destiny.
Maybe
that
higher power,
you don't find someone.
Exactly. Maybe that higher power is just telling you, hey, like, I was your guardian angel. Like, I just helped you dodge a bullet. Like, because that way you can focus on doing this and watch what's gonna happen with you then.
In
and
a
then
way,
you find somebody.
Yeah, in a way to think. I mean, it's kind of sad to think about it like this, but in a way, to those who are single and like they don't really they feel like they can't find love, I would say, like, bro, just think about it like, oh, I can't imagine, like, what if my soulmate's like traveling, or what if they got like a good ass job offer type stuff, you know, that type of stuff. You just think of it in a positive way. Just be like, yeah, I mean, they're gonna be your soulmate. Just wait for that time to come. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you just
gotta think about it like that. If you think about it, you don't know that person yet, but your soulmate just got like a super crazy job offer, right? Are they gonna be with you if you don't work on yourself and get to that level too?
Right, exactly. Like, you gotta better yourself too. Right.
Exactly.
And it's not you know, you can't just sit on your ass and, you know, do nothing about, you know, your life, and you're wondering, oh man, why can't I find any female? Why can't I get any guys? It's like, bro, like, you know, sometimes you got to get off your ass. You know, it's just the harsh truth, but it's the truth. And there's no way of getting past, you know, all the hard times of life if you don't, you know, if you don't know the truth, right? And you got to be realistic. And if you're trying to find someone, you know, I feel like that's something that you gotta have high standards yourself, but also make yourself, you know, someone else's standards. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at least take the chance, right? If you see that girl that you think is just super pretty, or like she looks like she's super cool, like go up to her and just say what's up. Don't be on no creepy stuff. But
right. And I mean, and sometimes, you know, for girls that, you know, like hood guys, bro, like don't. You could do better, bro, for real. I'm not saying that all hood guys are bad, or they're
man,
you know,
y'all,
negative.
some of y'all girls, man, give a good guy a chance sometimes,
man. Hey, you don't. But I mean, that kind of reminds me. It's just like, you know, the your partner could just be, you know, closer than you think type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, open up your eyes. But I'm not saying. You know, I mean, for me, it's getting kind of off topic, but, you know, red flag if there's like a nice guy waiting for you to get out of a relationship type stuff, and you know, guy best friends or girl best friends. Hey, I'm not saying nothing. I was gonna ask you about that. I'm not even saying nothing like, you know, they're bad or nothing, or, you know, sometimes there's people like that just waiting, and that's unfortunate, you know, because I hella disagree with that shit. You know, you should not.
I'd say don't try to manipulate the relationship so that way you're waiting for them to get out of it so they can be with you.
And you're damn near homewrecker.
Yeah, just let it happen, dude. Like, and just be there. But I mean, you got to know your boundaries, right? Don't try to step on the guy's toes and then be like, you know, oh, like, I'm gonna wait for you, you know, like he kind of sucks, and try to gaslight her and shit, you know.
And I mean, for those who are even, you know, looking for a relationship, you gotta find someone who you could trust, and vice versa. You gotta, I mean, for me, it's kind of like nowadays it's just seeing, and this goes for, you know, people in general, me making friends, or I'm seeing someone that intrigues me. I'm just like kind of look for red flags, because for me, like I said, I don't look for temporary, you know, relationships / friendships. So I'm just seeing, like, you know, what are the red flags that they have.
But sometimes too, you like, if you're really looking, you know, trying to search for those red flags, you might find something in that person that you like that you didn't even know that you like in someone.
Right. Exactly.
It all depends on the person. So, like, that's why I like to think of things, you know, just let it happen. Nature just happens. So,
right. Why
can't love be the same way?
Shit. What's it called that in that nature? Natural selection.
What the fuck?
No, but I'm just saying, you know, you gotta, you know, the best, you know, the best mates, you know, they gotta come to each other. You know, you don't just sit on your ass and wait for it to come to you. It has to be both.
Yeah, no, I truly believe
two-sided, you know.
If it's meant to be, then it'll happen.
Yeah, and so, yeah, if it's
you got to make some kind of push too, of course. It's not just going to be all fate is going to do all the work. You got to do some work too to get there, but I do, like, sincerely think that if it's meant to happen, then it'll happen.
And don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying change who you are, but I'm saying, you know, be someone that you could be proud of, and not just having to go for someone that wants you for being in a slump, you know, not someone that wants to be down with you. You want to be up with the person, right?
Yeah.
And there's just, I mean, there were some people that I knew they would say, like, oh, like, I don't really care to do this about my body, or I don't really care to do this about my personality. I want someone to find me I want someone who I find to like me for me. And I'm saying, you know, that's cool and all, but when you're fucking down like that and you look like shit, you know, you gotta think to yourself, like, bro, if I looked at someone who looked like who looked like me with that person,
would you want to be with them?
Would I want to be with them, or would I, you know, look at them in a good way? You'd be like, bro, you could see like
hell no, you better legal.
Yeah, for fucking, you could see like the prettiest guy or the prettiest girl, and, you know, you see them as like someone who looks like, you know, it makes them think, oh man, that pretty person or that pretty guy, that pretty girl, they could do better. You don't want people to look at you like that. And
that's true.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's times where, you know, stick to your own beliefs. You don't really care about what other people think about yourself, but you gotta think about it in a way where you have to look at yourself externally and have self-awareness. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah, you gotta
have
have
self-awareness,
self-awareness,
bro.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
of how
that's
you
true.
look and how you are,
How you present yourself.
how you present yourself. That says a lot about you as a person
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
bro. Like, if you don't give a fuck about your body, what makes you
exactly.
think you give a fuck about your life?
Exactly. So why would someone want to be with someone that doesn't care about their life?
Exactly, bro. And that just goes to show, like, you know, how could you expect a long-term relationship if you don't plan on doing it?
It just comes back full circle to what we've been saying. You know, like
exactly.
you gotta focus on yourself. You gotta know what makes you happy, and love yourself to be able to love someone else, right?
Yeah, and so I mean, how can you just treat yourself like shit, but you know, and expect yourself to be in a good relationship or have it come to you?
Exactly.
You know, that's just people just gotta be. And when it comes to love, it's definitely not easy in terms of it coming to you. You know how people say, "Oh, love is gonna come to me if it's true." It won't come to you if you won't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
not
won't do
everything is
nothing
a
about your
fucking Cinderella
lifestyle.
story, of course.
Exactly, and not like I said. You know, you gotta work for everything that you want in your life.
Yeah, nothing comes
And
easy.
And
Nothing
comes easy.
worth it comes easy.
Unless I mean, unless you were like born fucking rich and you're like, but I mean, you know, just to generalize it, not talking about on some like celebrity shit, you know, but you know, you have to do something in order to get something. There you go. So when people don't really do something with their bodies or they don't give a fuck, you know, how they say things, how could you expect to have high standards and then, you know, treat yourself or, you know, your body like shit, you know, because you can't just treat someone like all golden and stuff and then you're just looking like you're down, bruh. Like you're down bad type stuff. So yeah,
I gotta take a piss, bro.
All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed, for real. We got really deep into that topic. Pause again. Fuck, I keep doing that shit. No, but anyways, sorry you guys didn't see the start, you know, of the show. He got kind of scared because people are fucking ground and pounding upstairs because we were talking about, you know, concept of love type shit. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. There's gonna be a new podcast every Wednesday, once a week, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, you know, what we're putting out. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of our podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed.